Those who AI, those who are new here, come to Sarthi Education. So, for live offline sessions in sessions will be done by expert mentor guests, live discussions. Those yesterday we are going yesterday. As I had told you, first there are 100 marks paper availability. Availability to it, which has 40 test or quiz test only require percent marks. Those marks are percent able to test from out of that for 80 for Uttar Pradesh, which is sound better now. Able now. Better now. So as I was telling you, the cutoff for Uttar Pradesh is about 100 plus. So is about 110. According to our estimate, if you guys get more than 100, give me a minute to Is my sound better now? You guys hear me clearly now? Okay, let's try it again. So I was telling that there are three kind of papers: ability, holistic aptitude, that is SAT, and a language test. The language test comprises of 50 questions, 50 minutes. It is not included in the cutoff, but you are required to have. The math paper has 50 questions, 50 marks, 5 minutes. The SAT paper has 100 questions, 100 marks, 90 minutes. Last year, the cutoff was 185 out of 150 for the national. But for Uttar Pradesh, you guys are safe, 400 plus. That is only for stage 1. We'll get to the stage 2 when we do it. Also, mental aptitude, cases of mental aptitude, as I said, the questions general mental aptitude, as well as some math, basic math. For the SAT paper, you guys need to have means this physics, chemistry, bio, social studies. Social studies is also there. You didn't know. Also, for science, you have physics, chemistry, bio. Maths has about 20 questions dedicated to it. Is the sound better now? Or is it still cutting? Well, let's try it again. So I guess you guys understood the concept, the NTSE pattern. Mathematics has about 20 questions dedicated to it out of the 100 in scholastic aptitude. Social studies has about 35 to 40, and the 40 questions have the remaining 40 are of physics, chemistry, and bio. Also, social studies, the 40 questions dedicated to social studies sometimes have a little bit of GK and current affairs thrown into it, but that will be talked about in the social studies class. Let's get to mathematics now. Okay, so this is the maths and TSC syllabus. It basically comprises of your chapters from class 9 and 10th with a little bit of concepts of basic 9th or advanced 8th class, like exponent or number system, stuff like that. Polynomials and quadratic equations is a fairly self chapter. You know what it is, you guys must have read it for your essay 1. Trigonometry also, you guys know. Percentage, algebraic expressions, arithmetics. AP is a very important chapter. So polynomials, AP, probability, square root, and surface area and volume. These are the 5 most important chapters in terms of mathematics, with quadratic equations and AP being the highest of these. We'll be going through these chapters quickly once. Most of the chapters have been already covered by you either in your essay 1 or in your 9th class. but we'll be covering them one by one in a quick fashion. We'll be starting today with polynomials and quadratic equations. So as you guys know, a polynomial, let's say fx, is a to the power n x 0, sorry, a0 x to the power n plus a1 x to the power n minus 1 plus a2 x to the power n minus 2 plus a3 x to the power n minus 3, so on till an x to the power 0. This is the standard form of polynomial as we know, where a0, a1, a2 are real numbers and n is a positive number, positive real number. Okay, so what this means is that n has to be greater than 0. That is the only way it can be positive, and n cannot be a fraction or a square root or something like that. It has to be a positive integer. These are the two conditions for any fx given in this form to be a polynomial. Is it clear? Okay, let's move forward then. There is something called a remainder theorem in polynomials. So for example, there is a polynomial, let's say x square plus 1, right? And I ask you, what will be the remainder if I divide it by, let's say, x minus a? So what I'm asking you is, if I do this, what will be the remainder? Now there are two ways to do it. Either we do it with the help of division algorithm, which we'll get to in a minute, but you guys already know pretty much all about it. Or there is another way. What it is that if I want to divide a polynomial by x minus a and find out the remainder, I simply do this, which gives me the value of x as a, and I put this value here. So if I say if a, I put the value of a, x is equal to a into this polynomial, what will I get? If a is equal to a square plus 1. I'm putting the value of a in place of x. So what this tells me, that is, if I put the value of a, fa will be equal to f a is equal to a square minus 1. What remainder theorem tells you is that if I do this, if I put x is equal to a in this equation, fa will be my remainder of this. In summary, if I want to divide a polynomial by a linear function like this, I can just put it equal to, put this function equal to 0, and the value of x we get is put into the polynomial here. The value we get after putting the value of x in this polynomial is known as the remainder. Is it clear? Let's see it with the help of a practice question. So I am asked that if I divide x square plus 1 by x plus 1, what will be my remainder? Right? So there are two ways to go about it. Either we divide it, in which case we get x square plus x. Don't worry if you have any problem with the division algorithm. We'll get into the detail of that. So if I do this, my remainder is 2, right? Now what if I apply a remainder theorem here? Is there a is it will it be easier or shorter? Let's say if I apply remainder theorem. The first step in remainder theorem was that the divisor is put equal to 0. I get x is equal to minus 1. So I have the polynomial x square plus 1. I'll put the value of x in this. So we'll write f minus 1 is equal to minus 1 whole square plus 1 is equal to 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. What this tells me is f minus 1 is equal to 2. So by remainder theorem, this function, this value of this function f minus 1 is equal to 2 is the remainder we get when we divide fx by x plus 1, which we just saw is true. So any doubts in the remainder theorem? Is it clear? समझ आया सबको? So Yash, did you not understand or you do not have any doubts? Good. Let's move forward then. Let's see what division algorithm was all about. So what division algorithm tells me is that if there is a function fx and I divide it by gx, I get the quotient qx and my remainder rx. If we have a function fx, I divide it by gx, I get my quotient qx with the remainder rx. So if for a sample, let's say I have to divide x cube minus 3x square plus 5x minus 3, which will be my fx. This is my gx. So what I do is I multiply this whole function x square minus 2 by x. Why x? Because I have to match the highest degree term of my divisor, that is gx, with the highest degree term in the polynomial I have to divide, that is x cube. So how I can match that? I'm multiplying x square with x. So I have to multiply this whole term with x, and this gives me the first term of my question. I multiplied with x, we get x cube minus 2x. Since we have to subtract this whole thing from the original thing, the signs are interchanged, x cube is subtracted, we get minus 3x square plus 5x minus 3. So now the highest degree term of my dividend x square has to be matched with the highest degree term of this part right here. The highest degree term here is 3x square, and in my dividend it is x square. So the second term of the question becomes minus 3 by minus 3 upon minus 3x square upon x square, which goes here. When I multiply it by 3, I get minus 3x square plus 6. Again signs have to be interchanged because this is subtracted. So we get 7x minus 9, which is my remainder. So in this case, this becomes my remainder. This becomes my quotient, and I said this before, this becomes my divisor, and obviously this is fx. Is this clear? Similarly, if we see another example, x minus 3 is my gx. This term right here, this is my fx. This right here is my quotient, and this right here is my remainder or Rx. See the second example for 20 seconds and tell me if you guys have any problem with this. Is there any problem? If there's no problem, let's move ahead with a practice question. Let's see if you guys have any problem solving this. I'll give you 1 minute to solve this. Let's do this fast because this is not something you should waste time, right? That's more than enough time for this time question. Okay, so let's see the solution. This is our quotient here, right? This is our fx, that is our polynomial to be divided. This is the gx, our dividend, and this right here is our remainder or rx. Clear है? सॉल्व हो गया सबसे? कोई डाउट? Yes, Vani, you can use x is equal to minus 2 to get the remainder as well. So let's try everyone if we do that. So as we see, by remainder theorem also the remainder can be found out. Or if you have any doubt or if you think your division has been wrong, it can be easily confirmed. Rishu, since first of all, you don't have to hesitate. See, if you do hesitate, as you just saw, you won't even be able to answer when you are right. Secondly, it is just practice. Don't worry. And Vani, good for you to observe that remainder theorem can directly be used. This type of thinking can really help you when you are actually giving the exam, since it's an MCQ process, and as you see, you have around 54 seconds on average to solve a question. So if you need to find out the remainder, you can directly do with the help of the remainder theorem, and it's good if you can observe that. It will save you a couple of seconds and a good time for hard questions. I don't think there's any doubt in this. Let's move on to the next part of our session, that is roots of a quadratic equation. So first of all, let's see what roots of a polynomial mean. So if let's say I'm saying that I have a polynomial fx, it can be anything. Let's say we have a polynomial fx. So the value of x for which fx is equal to 0. That means if I put the value of x, any x, let's say I put it a, b, c, d, 1, 2, 3, any value of x, and I put it in this equation, and I get the output, the resulting output as 0. That value of x is known as root of fx. Okay, so the root means that any value of x, it can be anything, it can be another variable, it can be a constant, it can be something else. Any value of x for which our output fx is equal to 0, the equation comes out to be 0, that value of x is known as the root of the equation, the root of the polynomial. So why are we looking only at quadratic equations for this? This applies to any form of linear equation with any degree, sorry, any form of variable with any degree. The degree can be 1, 2, 3, 4, anything. It can apply to a quadratic, biquadratic, linear equation, cubic, anything. But the way our syllabus is, the way NTSE wants us is to be able to, is to master this for quadratic equations. we have to learn how to find out roots of an equation. We have to learn what the roots of equation are, what what is the relation between them. Okay, so let's see that. So let's say that the standard form of my quadratic equation is this: fx is equal to x square plus bx plus c. If this is my quadratic equations, there are two values of x for which this equation will be equal to 0. First of all, you guys have to know the degree of the equation. Degree of a polynomial, let's say of a polynomial, let's say it be 3 or 4 or anything, is equal to number of possible real roots. So degree of a polynomial is equal to number of possible real roots of that polynomial. So if there is a biquadratic that is 4 degree, the possible real roots are 4. By that logic, if it is a quadratic equation that is a degree 2 polynomial, there are two possible roots. Here I have assumed that the roots be alpha and beta. So alpha beta are those values of x where f alpha is 0 and f beta is also equal to 0. The values of x for which f alpha is 0, the value of x for which the fx is 0, that is x is equal to alpha or x is equal to beta, are known as roots, as you just saw. Hence our roots here are alpha and beta. Is there any doubt? Great, let's move forward. So we just saw that alpha, beta are the roots of fx is equal to x square plus bx plus c, which is my standard form of a quadratic equation. What standard form means is that if I put in different values a, b and c, I get different quadratic equation, and all of those will be quadratic equation given a is not equal to 0. That is my only condition here. And obviously the conditions, as we saw before, that a, b, c should be real numbers applies as well. So if alpha, beta are the roots of this equation, my product of roots, that is alpha into beta, is equal to c by a, alpha plus beta, that is sum of roots, is equal to minus b by a, where what b is coefficient of x, a is coefficient of x square, c is the constant term. Is this clear, guys? Is it clear till now? Are there any doubts? Guys, please use the chat freely to ask your doubts, to clear your doubts, as you have been. So thank you for that. Chat is a great two-way interaction tool for us. So if there are no doubts, let's move forward. Let's see a practice question. Okay. So let's say I tell you that there is a polynomial x square plus 4x plus 3 where alpha is equal to minus 3 and beta is equal to minus 1. Let's change this a bit. If I have given you x square plus 4x plus 3 as a polynomial, what will be the values of alpha beta, alpha plus beta and alpha beta? So what alpha beta is? Minus b by a, c by a. So if I compare this with my standard quadratic equation, I get a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, c is equal to 3. If you have any doubts, as I just told you, this is the coefficient of x square, this is the coefficient of x, and this is the constant term. So I can now directly put these values here. Okay, so what my alpha plus beta will be? Minus b by a, that is minus 4 upon 1, that is minus 4. Alpha beta is 3 c by a, that is 3 by 1 equal to 3. Right? Is this clear? So if it is clear to you guys what this is, let's try and find out the value of 1 plus alpha plus 1 by beta. I'll give you 30 seconds to do it. So let's try this out. We'll take the LCM. So alpha plus beta was minus 4 and alpha beta was 3. Right? We just found these values out. So what will 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta will be? That will be minus 4 by 3. Congratulations to those who got the answer right. That's great work. Now let's find the value of this. Again 30 seconds for this. So I guess the time is enough for this. Alpha plus beta whole square. Let's do this another way. So that Even if someone has not understood, they can grasp this easily. So what I can write this as alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta minus 2 alpha beta. I just added and subtracted the same value so that the four equations remain the same. So as we know, alpha plus beta whole square is equal to alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta. Then I can just write it like this, right? So again, I can put down the values just right there. Hence we get the answer 10. Again, congratulations to those who got the correct answer. Let's move it up a bit on our upper level. Let's find out the value of this. Waiting for your answer, waiting for at least one answer, right? Let's do it fast. It's not a hard question. So I guess the time has been enough for now. So as we know, alpha minus square minus beta square can be written as alpha minus beta into alpha plus beta. So now we already know the value of alpha plus beta, that is minus 4. We need to find out the value of alpha minus beta. So alpha minus beta can be find out like this. Alpha minus beta square is equal to alpha square plus beta square minus 2 alpha beta. So we can write this as 10, which we got the value from above, minus 2 into 3 equal to 6. So it will be 4. So alpha minus beta square is equal to 4. Now alpha minus beta can be 2 as well as minus 2, right? Because if the value of a square is 4, its square root can be plus 2 and minus 2, right? So this is where we need to verify, and the answer can come from both values. How? Let's see. So if alpha minus beta is 2 and alpha minus beta can also be minus 2, there are two possible scenarios. If alpha minus beta is 2, alpha square minus beta square becomes 2 into minus 4 is equal to minus 8. If alpha minus beta is equal to minus 2, alpha square minus beta square becomes 8. Now why the possibility of two values? Our equation was x square plus 4x plus 3. When we'll see how to find out the roots of an equation, we'll know that the roots were this. But there is one problem, that I can also write alpha is equal to minus 1 and beta is equal to minus 3. There is no fault in that. There is no way I have to write the smaller value at alpha and bigger value at beta, or the other way around. Hence, if there is two possible ways we can represent alpha and beta. Although both are correct, but there are two possible ways. Hence, the value of alpha square minus beta square has two possible values. Is this clear? Any doubts with this? But in this case, if the question comes in NTSE or an exam, how to solve this? In that case, you'll always give out the positive answer. So the correct answer in MCQ questions will be 8. Abhay, do you have any doubts? Let's say I have to solve the value of roots. So if I have an equation fx is equal to x square plus 4x plus 3, and I have to find out the value of alpha and beta, or the roots. So there are two ways to do this. First way is splitting method. So there is one condition with the roots. The condition of roots is that my fx should be equal to 0. What this means is x square plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. This method is known as middle term split. So what we do is we will split 4x, or the middle term, into two parts such that the coefficients of these two terms multiplied to give the value of a and a into c. So let's say if I write this as x square ax square plus b1x plus b2x plus c, where b1 plus b2 is equal to b. In such cases, b1 multiplied by b2 should be equal to a multiplied by c. Okay, is there any doubt in this? Yes, Abhay. We can find the roots of the equation directly. And now as we are seeing how to find the roots of the equation, we'll know how to do that as well. Is this clear till now? So for x square plus 4x plus 3 equal to 0, I can split as x square plus 3x plus 1x plus 3 equal to 0. Now 3 into 1 b1 into b2 is equal to p into 1 a into c. So we are correct. So what we'll do is x into x plus 3, we took x common, we took 1 common here, this is x plus 3 as well. We'll write x plus 3 into x plus 1. We took x plus 3 common is equal to 0. So now we have a situation where two values, let's say u and v, or for better representation, m and n, m into n is equal to 0. This is only possible when either m or n is equal to 0. If m is equal to 0, we get the whole equation as 0 as everything multiplied by 0 is 0. Same goes for n. And they both can be equal to 0 at the same time. Right? So applying this logic here, we get x plus 3 is equal to 0 and x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay? This gives me x is equal to minus 3, x is equal to minus 1. So x is equal to minus 3 and minus 1 are the roots of my equation. We can check by remainder theorem as well, that if we put x is equal to minus 3, we get 9 minus 12 plus 3, that is equal to 0. And if we put x is equal to minus 1, we get 1 minus 4 plus 3 is equal to 0. So if the remainder is 0, the value x plus 3 directly divides us and x plus 1 directly divides us, and hence x is equal to minus 3 and x is equal to minus 1 are the roots of the equation. This also tells me that x plus 3 and x plus 1 are the factors of the given quadratic equation. So x square plus 4x plus 3 has two linear equations as its factor, that are x plus 3 and x plus 1, and minus 3 and minus 1 as the roots. Minus 3 and minus 1 are the roots of this equation, and x plus 3 and x plus 1 are the factors of this equation. Okay, so let's try a sample question first, then we'll move forward. Quickly find out the roots of this equation. So I'm guessing this might all have been already covered in school. Let's quickly solve it. By the way, have you guys studied the quadratic formula in the school or not? So these are the two possible values of x. Great, if you have already studied the quadratic formula, we'll cover it swiftly. Okay, so this is actually my second method for solving. That the values of alpha and beta can be found out by this equation. Here alpha is equal to minus b plus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Beta is equal to minus b minus b square minus 4ac upon 2a, where b square minus 4ac is written as d, or discriminant. If d is greater than 0, I have two real roots for the equation. If d is equal to 0, I have one real root for the equation, or it can be said as two equal real roots, right? If d is less than 0, I have no real roots. Is it clear? So let's try some questions from previous year NTSE paper based on these concepts. Okay, let's try this question. You guys have a minute to solve it. Since you guys have already studied this concept in school, I don't think it should take you a lot of time. Let's try this quickly. Let's try this out. The answer is b is equal to 0. Congratulations to those who figured it out. So our equation is ax square is bx plus c is equal to 0. By quadratic formula, the value of alpha is minus b plus b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Beta is minus b, right? If I split this, I can write it as minus b upon 2a plus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a, b upon 2a minus root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So if you look at these two values of alpha, if the values of alpha and beta, this part, this part is same in both. It is equal in magnitude in both, but has opposite signs. So if you think about that, maybe equal in magnitude but opposite in sign, if all we have left is this part in where the value of alpha and this part in the value of beta, we will satisfy the condition that we are equal in magnitude but opposite in signs. What this tells me is that this part or this part which is equal should be equal to 0 in both. Hence minus b by 2a is equal to 0. This is only possible when b is equal to 0. That is a D option. Is there any doubt? Is it clear? Okay, so as there are no doubts, let's move on to another question. Again, you guys have 1 minute to try this out pretty quickly. Yes, Rishu, that is also a way to go. We can directly put b is equal to 0 and find if we have x is x, find the two values of x. But this is more of a verification. If you know that d can be the answer, then the method to find out. Method to find out is what we just did. This is a way where we can do hit and try using the multiple choices we have. So the answer is B, I guess. First, let's try it out. So x square plus 4x plus k is what we have. It is given that d is greater than 0. How it is given? Since it has real and distinct roots. Mind it, it has distinct roots as well. This means that we cannot take d equal to 0. That will be wrong. So if d is equal to greater than 0, d square minus 4ac is greater than 0. We get 4 square minus 4 1 k greater than 0. 16 minus 4k is greater than 0. K is less than equal to 4. Less than 4, not equal to, which is option number 2. Is it clear? Let's try another question then. Let's try this question from previous year NTSE paper. Also, in the fourth option, it is 1 by c. Let's try it out quickly, okay? So the answer for this question is m is equal to a minus b upon a plus b. That is option number first. Let's see how it is solved. So first of all, we have to cross multiply this, right, and get it into a standard quadratic equation form, right? So the quadratic equation will be this. Did anyone get the right quadratic equation? M plus 1 x square minus x into bm plus b plus ma minus a minus c into m minus 1, sorry, plus c into m minus 1. This will be a standard quadratic equation. Is it clear? So the next step, as we already saw, that when the roots are numerically equal but of opposite sign, our b or coefficient of x is equal to 0. Hence, bm plus b plus ma minus a is equal to 0. We can now solve it pretty easily, I guess. That is option number 1. Is this clear? X is not equal to 0, Vani. Only the coefficient of x is equal to 0. Coefficient of x is equal to 0. We saw in this equation, right, that if there is a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c and the roots are equal in magnitude but opposite in sign, we get b is equal to 0 as your answer. B is equal to 0. What b here is? B here is coefficient of x. This is now a standard result for us since once we solved it for a standard equation. So using this result, coefficient of x is equal to 0, right? And coefficient of x is this. So this part is equal to 0, which is what we have done here. Vani, is it clear now? Please respond in the chat with a yes or no. Great. Does anyone have any other doubt? No? Let's move forward with another question, okay? Wait a minute. Yeah. Let's try this question now. So have you all guys tried it? The answer is q is equal to 16. For those who got the answer right, let's solve it once. So it is said that 2 is a root of the quadratic equation x square plus ax plus 12. What that means is that remainder or remainder when equation is divided by x minus 2, or in a better more simplified term, when x is equal to 2 we get f2 is equal to 0, right? So what is f2? That is x is equal to 2 in this equation, so 2 square plus 8 into 2 plus 12 is equal to 0. What we get is 4 square plus 2a plus 12, sorry, it's not 4 square, it's 4. So putting this value in the second equation, we get x square minus 8x plus q is equal to 0. It is given that this equation has real and equal roots, so d is equal to 0, which means b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. So minus 8 whole square minus 4 into 1 into q is equal to 0. So 64 minus 4q is equal to 0. Q is equal to 16. Hence the option 4. Is it clear? सबको समझ आया? So as there are no doubts, let's try one more question. This is the question of NTSE 2015 to 16. Is there are doubts with this question? So let's try it out first. Alpha square plus 3 is equal to 5 alpha, which can be written as alpha square minus 5 alpha plus 3 is equal to 0. Beta square, let this be equation 1, is equal to 5 beta minus 3, which is equal to beta square minus 5 beta plus 3 is equal to 0. Let this be equation 2. If you observe these two equations, you will find out a common similarity between those. What? If there is an fx which is written as x square minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0, it will have roots alpha and beta which will satisfy these two given conditions. So if we observe from 1 and 2, we can say that alpha and beta can be the roots of equation x square minus 5x plus 3. So if that is true, alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a is equal to 5, and alpha beta is equal to 3. We have to find out our equation whose roots are alpha upon beta and beta upon alpha. So by that logic, the equation we have to find has sum of roots minus beta upon alpha plus alpha upon beta, right? This is equal to minus beta square plus alpha square upon alpha beta, which can be written as minus alpha plus beta whole square upon alpha beta minus 2. We know the value of alpha plus beta to be 5 and alpha beta to be 3. Similarly, our product of fruits is alpha plus beta into beta upon alpha, that is equal to 1. So we get the equation as x square, assuming that a is equal to 1, seeing the options we get there, and minus sum of fruits plus product of fruits equal to 0. There is a mistake that sum of fruits is not negative. Sorry for that. So here putting the values, we get x square minus 19 upon 3 plus 1 is equal to 0. Multiplying all sides by 3, we get 3x square minus 19 x plus 3 is equal to 0, which is our option number 2, the correct answer. Is this clear? Is there any doubt in this? समझ आया सबको? अगर समझ आया तो yes या no लिख के चैट में रिप्लाई करो. कोई डाउट है तो पूछो. समझ आया सबको? Yes, sorry. Thanks for correcting. The answer is option number 1. Is it clear? Is the method clear? Let's do last question of today. Yeah, I know it has been a long class, but we do need to crack our NTSE exam, and we need the motivation to sit through these classes. We are trying to make it interesting for you guys, and these sessions are quite good for you, not just for the NTSE but for your mental aptitude and how you think about questions and how you perform. And it will definitely going to help you when you go for 11th and 12th for the competitive exams, whether it be of medical or engineering. Okay, let's try our last question for the day. We have to find out sum of roots for this equation. That is it. This is the equation we have been given, 2x plus 4yx upon 9. We have to find out the sum of roots for this equation. Okay, Rishu, I'll show you again. Everyone note down this question and I'll show you Rishu the solution for the last question. So Rishu, it was given alpha square plus 3 is equal to 5 alpha. So we can write alpha square alpha square minus 5 alpha plus 3 equal to 0. Similarly, we can write beta square minus 5 beta plus 3 is equal to 0. If we observe this and this equation, we can tell that if there is an fx for who alpha and beta are the roots, that fx can exist, and that fx will be x square minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. If I put alpha in this fx, I'll get my first equation, this one. If I put x is equal to beta in this equation, I will get this equation. So the given conditions are being satisfied with if alpha and beta are the roots of this equation. If that is true, the value of alpha plus beta, that is equal to minus b by a is equal to 5, and alpha beta, the product of alpha and beta is 3. We have to find out the quadratic equation whose roots are alpha upon beta and beta upon alpha. For that, we find out the sum of roots, that is beta upon alpha plus alpha upon beta, like this, and we'll get it at 19 by 3. Then we find out the product of roots at alpha by beta into beta by alpha, that is equal to 1, since alpha is cut here and beta is cut here. Since we know any quadratic equation can be find out by like this, x square minus sum of roots into x plus product of roots. Sum of roots we have is 19 by 3 and product of roots we have is 1. We put down these values, and since it does not match any of our option and any of our option does not have a fraction in them, we multiply this whole equation by 3. We get 3x square minus 19x plus 3. That is our option 1. Is it clear now, Rishu? Let's try this question quickly. So we have 2x plus 4 by x is equal to 9. We get 2x square plus 4 is equal to 9. We just took the LCM here. Cross multiplying x, we get 2x square plus 4x is equal to 9x. This gives out our equation to be 2x square minus 9x plus 4 is equal to 0. Since we know that sum of fruits is equal to minus b by a, where b is coefficient of x and a is coefficient of x square. Therefore, sum of roots is equal to minus 9 upon 2. Minus 9 is the coefficient of x and 2 is the coefficient of x square. We get 9 by 2 as our answer. Is this clear? समझ आया सबको? By the way, everyone, for you and your friends, this is just a piece of information. This video will be available as a separate YouTube video on our channel instantly after we conclude our session. You can always revisit it, always re-see it, and always re-see any part you want. So this is it for our session today. This is how the questions come for quadratic equation, and as you guys saw, it is not that hard. One or two questions which were typical or were typical only because of a trick which we now know, which we can think of now. Alright. So I would like to ask, how was this session for you guys? And was it interesting for you? Did you learn something new? How can we make it better? We'd love to know from what you guys think in the comments. Okay, we'll love to know what you guys think of this session, and we'll love it if it helps you guys. I hope you learned something new. Thank you so much for watching, and you will have tomorrow session with of chemistry at the same time, 7 p.m. We come online at 6:55 p.m. so that you can check your equipment as well as your notebook and all that stuff. You can get ready for the session. We'll have a chemistry session tomorrow at 7 p.m. Also, keep checking your email as we'll be sending the material after this session and for the tomorrow's session as well on your email. And we'll love that from next time, whenever you sit down for a session, the material we have sent you before is printed with you. Subscribe this channel and click on the bell icon. The bell icon you must be seeing near the live button, near the subscription button. By clicking that bell icon, you guys will be instantly notified as soon as we go live, as soon as we upload a video, which will be great for you guys. And it will also help you avoid the confusion we had yesterday. Also, you can always share your feedback, your email, anything you would love to talk to us about, anything you think we should improve at contact us at sarthieducation.com, which is our official email address, which is also written in the description. If you do like the concept of online session, if you do like our concept, if you do like studying with us, hit the like button on the YouTube video. You can drop your comment with your feedback, and we would love it if you share the video with your classmates who could not attend the session for some reason, and with other classmates as well. We would love to hear you from you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time at the same place. Take care. Bye.